It's Youth Day, and Deputy President Paul Mashatile will be leading Youth Day commemorations at the Dr. Petrus Rantlai Molemela Stadium, this in Mangaung. Today marks 47 years since the youth uprising in Soweto back in 1976. However, young people continue to struggle for education, for jobs, as well as quality lives. eNCA's Moloko, Moloto and Pule Letshwiti-Jones are covering this story for us. But of course, joining me from Bloemfontein this morning are my colleagues. Pule, good morning to you. Malume Moloko, good morning to you. Perhaps let me start with you, Pule, just in terms of the significance of this day, just in terms of not only the visit by the Deputy President, but also I wonder if there is excitement even from young people within Bloemfontein.
Yeah. Well, good morning, Dumelo. Of course, today marks a special historical day in the calendar of South Africa, in which in June 1976, young people were, of course, embarking on a massive protest against the Bantu education during the apartheid era. And, of course, despite what has happened then, there's still numerous, critiques that have been pointed against the government in terms of the quality of education post the apartheid dispensation, and of course amongst other things which are affecting the youth. But what I decided to do, I decided to actually speak to young people in Free State, which are doing things to empower young people. I spoke to one young woman earlier on who has built this place here, Dumelo, which they educate young people about IT, technology, reading and critical skills as well, which includes constructing such buildings which we see on screen right now. So at least there's a sense of hope when you listen to such stories as well. She managed to build this hub with her own money. She was working in the social development. She then decided to resign and use her funds to build this structure in a community which empowers just about 15 young people who are coming here. Once they're done with the program, they go into the work sector as well. But joining me here, I'm just going to speak to some of the volunteers who are part of this program to get a sense of how far they are and how they're feeling. I'm joined by Tsidiso and Rantlai. Tsidiso, thank you very much for chatting to me this morning. How does it feel to be a South African, a young South African, especially part of the youth in this era? What are you learning from here?
Okay, Tsidiso Morake. I'm head of construction and maintenance at Impact Spaces, where we are gathered here as young people doing volunteering work. What I've learned from Impact Spaces is that I came here with limited skills. So since I've been here, I made quite a big progress, because we have managed to build a shack, our kitchen here, and we did wiring, electrical wiring, plumbing, and we installed water for our kitchen. So I learned many things here. I was struggling using the computer. So since I've been here, at least I've gained a knowledge. So Impact Spaces helped me a lot.
So you don't just wait for government to come to your doorstep and say, here's a job. How does it feel? You're volunteering, and you're not saying you want money, but what is it that you believe will happen by getting these kind of skills?
Okay, by getting these kind of skills, I will get empowered. I will gain more knowledge, because I believe in learning new things. So Impact Spaces will help me grow. Maybe one day I will be certified constructor.
Thank you very much. Shortly, Nomsle, what have you learned from me? Are you happy with the kind of skills you're getting?
Okay, so I'm very happy to be here at Impact Space, because I learn more and gain more knowledge. So here at Impact Space, I've learned how to use a computer, because when I came here, I didn't know how to type in computer. So I gain very, very much. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. Of course, I'll continue to join you guys throughout the whole day and speak to you guys about the skills that you're getting here, being empowered with them. But essentially, those are the kind of views we're getting on the ground from the young people in terms of what it's like to be a young South African, being exposed to so many opportunities in the midst of technology, amongst other resources you can use. So they came here and didn't just wait to be employed, but they're saying by empowering themselves with such critical skills could help them be exposed to the job market, to the working sector, and essentially to move abroad and come back and re-empower those from this community as well.
Yeah, and I suppose that's why this commemoration today is so important, Pule, because we have to look back at the strides. How far have we come in terms of the promises that were made to young people post, the 1976 youth uprising, and what are young people also doing for themselves in terms of empowering themselves? But it then leads to you, Moloko, Moloto, Malume, because where you are, I suppose that's where we expect to hear, right, from government in terms of those strides. I suppose even more promises that we'll make to young people, but the stats are clear. Unemployment is high, and as far as young people are concerned, they need jobs. Good morning.
Good morning, Rantlai. You are very correct. Unemployment staying, this is official unemployment. We're not even talking about the expanded definition. 32.9%, majority of those being young people who are bearing the brand of joblessness as well as poverty. And a whole lot of them are not in employment. They are also not in school. They are also not in any form of training. And I suppose they are looking forward for answers from those who are holding positions of leadership. One of those is Gregory Ntatisi. He is the acting Executive Mayor of the Mangaung Metro. He joins me now. Executive Mayor, thank you so much for your time. At this point in time, when young people are facing a different political challenges, they are no longer really fighting what your generation fought for in 1976. What are the issues that you believe as government ought to be attending to as a matter of agency to resolve for these young people, at least to realize their potential?
We really need to create a youth that's versatile, that's got the ability to change the economic situation and the political landscape, a youth that will be able to create a better tomorrow for themselves, and that start now. And as a metro, we are involved in a number of events with our provincial and national government in ensuring that we create job opportunities for our youth. The metro in itself has got a gap of unemployment of about 4,000 gaps where we are targeting our youth.
These are vacancies within the metro?
Say it again?
When you say there are gaps, are you talking about existing job opportunities within the metro?
Existing job opportunities that we are in a process of passing the budget and have budgeted for those posts to mainly target and get our youth from higher echelons to those that will go to the general workers, including, amongst other things, stimulus programs that come from the presidential program that will be also having a number of 2,000 youth that will be involved in the greening and cleaning for a period of a year. That also gives us the opportunity to attend to the plight of our youth in our region.
All right, we don't have much time left, but quickly, in terms of supporting businesses that are owned by young people, what is your role there?
We have engaged a number of sitters and SANRAL in ensuring that we skill our youth to deal with issues of road infrastructure, potholes, sewer spillages, by way of dealing with unblocking and plumbing, as well as dealing with water leakages. These are some of the problems we're faced with, and I think those are areas where we can engage our youth to be skilled.
All right. Gregory Ntatisi, the acting mayor of Mangaung. But let me speak to Dr. Cynthia Khumalo. She's the acting Deputy Director General in the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, the host department here, if I'm not wrong. Ma'am, thank you so much. Maybe outline the program, what's going to be happening throughout the day here.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you and the viewers. Today, the structuring of the program is such a way that we have focused a lot on making sure that the young people that are going to be here get an opportunity to go through the exhibitions that have been put up in this particular stadium, but also around the location itself. They would have an opportunity to ask questions and engage with different stakeholders, entity and corporate as well, that are here exhibiting. That is the first part of the session. Later on, when the formal program starts, we will have the Deputy President, as has been reported, who would be addressing the audience here and the general public through the media platforms that you guys provide. But I also need to indicate that we are also using the opportunity to continue to raise the hype around the Netball World Cup, which will happen later on after the Deputy President has addressed us.
Yeah. Doctor, we go through all this, what you just outlined, almost every year since 1994. Are you able to measure the impact in terms of the empowerment programs that you are talking about on young people, or are you just ticking the boxes for compliance?
I think what you're saying is very important. We've also realized that the approach this time around should be different because we need to be able to measure the impact, as you say, but also make a difference on the lives of the people and influence this high unemployment rate that the country is currently experiencing. So the approach this time around has been such a way that, as I'm saying, here there are opportunities for young people to see what opportunities are out there. But as part of the build-up, for instance, starting in the beginning of this week, escalating to what was happening yesterday, where we had a careers expo, the focus is on making sure that the young people don't look upon themselves as job seekers, but also as job creators. So the approach as a result has been in such a way that the program yesterday, for instance, was focusing on how to diversify, how they can be innovative and creative, especially in our space as the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture.
All right, Dr. Cynthia Khumalo, thank you so much for your time, ma'am. She is the Acting Director General in the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. She's talking about the importance of young people being the creators of jobs. And of course, we have seen one young person, Mr. Toriso Letale, from here in Bloemfontein, who's manufacturing jewelry. And some of the items, for instance, the wedding band that he says he sold, was sold for about 25,000 rand. And he has created job opportunities for 2 other young people. Of course, some other people will say there are many other young people who have such ideas. All they need is support, somebody to propel them and assist them in putting the structures and systems in place, and support in terms of the access to the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing that it seems the message is clear. While jobs are needed, also job creators, entrepreneurs are needed in as far as youth participation in our economy is concerned. Colleagues, I'll leave it there. Pule, Letshwiti-Jones, Moloko, Moloto. This will I'll leave it for now. I'll be sure to catch up with you, colleagues, as soon as there are other developments around the Youth Day commemorations out in Bloemfontein. Of course, still expecting Paul Mashatile, the Deputy President, to, of course, be the keynote address speaker out in Mangaung, tabling, some of the strides the country has made and how far we still need to go in ensuring that youth empowerment is, of course, practiced in the country.